The MCTV Network and the Friends of MCTV present Honors Night 2019, a night that honors the individuals and organizations that create local, original programming on Midland Community Television. Tonight's event sponsor, Junior Doan's The Spark. Your reception sponsor is Rodnick Chiropractic. And now, your host for this evening, John McPeak.
Good evening. Welcome to MCTV Honors Night, presented by the Friends of MCTV. And a thank you to the MCTV staff for that video introduction. The pre-show music this evening was provided by Cindy Michelin and Mary Adams, who are members of the Midland Community Orchestra. A round of applause for them, please. As the video introduced, I am John McPeak, and I'll be guiding us through this 29th annual MCTV Honors Night, which is being recorded at Creative 360. The sponsors of this year's event are Junior Doan, hostess of The Spark, and Rodnick Chiropractic. This evening, the MCTV Honors Night program will highlight the work and the achievements of the access users of Midland Community Television, Midland Government Television, and Midland Public Schools Television, and will honor those access users for their service to the Midland community. Later in the program, the recipient of the Edith Doyle Community Award will be announced, and the Rosemary Byers Community Voice Award will be presented to a worthy organization. Each year, MCTV's access users contribute thousands of hours to create the shows that you enjoy on MCTV, MPS TV, MGTV, podcasts, and YouTube. The content of those shows range from sports to music and public affairs and to community events. Matt Thomas, MCTV's production director, produced a video recognizing the access users who volunteered the most hours and time during the past year to produce local programming. For those high-hour users who are in attendance this evening, please join me at the podium when your name is mentioned in the video.
Here are MCTV Access User Hour Awards. 25 to 49 hours. Suzanne Sunshower. Kevin Davis. Wilson Coomer. Braden Sutter. Linda Seamson. John Walters. Dennis Caney. Jim Harlow. Ron Beacom. Mary LaFerre. Philip McIntyre. Pam Hall. Cheryl Wisda. Emma Van Dongen. Elizabeth Thomas. John Metcalf. 50 to 99 hours. Judy Keel. John McPeak. Haley Hill. Linda Malikadelli. Andrew Reeder. 100 plus hours. Zygmunt Kozicki. George Whittaker. Jim Malik. Tim Doyle. Marcus Thomas. Stephanie Biasi. MCTV would like to thank all of our volunteers.
Congratulations to these folks who provide great inspiration for all of the MCTV access users. Each of these folks will receive an MCTV shirt, front and back, which may be picked up from Mary Jo after the program this evening or at the MCTV office in the next few days. Thank you. And again, congratulations. Matt Richardson, the manager of MCTV, annually produces a highlights video with material from programs of the previous 12 months since last year's Honors Night, with his choices of the programs, that the people and the events that represent the local community media universe. The video is a collection of clips from programs aired on all three channels: public, education, government, clips that are representative of the quality programs aired on MCTV during the past year. So, sit back and enjoy Matt's video highlights.
back at the pond, the lead goose is strutting on his barge of ice, urging his team back into the open water for a last frigid splash.
Another Alden Dow's work at the Lutheran Church. You know, this folding plate idea, you know, look amazing.
First changed Jeff by introducing him to new friends and giving him better grades. How will first change you?
And our legacy is those people that we meet along the way and we give them a helping hand. Teach them to pitch, teach them to bat, help them to learn to survive as an umpire.
A coaching record at Bullock Creek of 207, 154, and 3. 4 state championships, 15 state place winners.
The struggle of our lives, we use that. Use it as the tool, as the learning, as to grow, and as the connector. And if there's darkness, there has to be light. If there's shadows, there has to be light.
Hi, I'm your State Representative, Annette Glenn. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Hometown Heroes.
Good afternoon. This is Wilson Coomer, a member of the American Legion Post 165.
Hello everyone, I'm Junior Doan. Welcome to Junior Doan's The Spark.
Do you currently need volunteers?
We always need volunteers. We have a real big need currently for Meals on Wheels drivers, transportation drivers.
And when it went forward, it's showing here it crushed a vertebra a little bit, smashed a disc in there.
At number 12 in your Northwood rostered program, redshirt freshman Dante Banton. And Dante, it is great to have you here this morning. And we were trying to do anything to get you out of the snow. You're out of Pompano Beach, Florida.
So the choirs will be singing throughout the gardens, and then there is a group playing in our conservatory. Usually there's bells or a flute choir in there.
That's for each of the Christmas walks.
Yes.
The big thing that they did was the Speak Up Now rally on October 12th, 1971.
How bad is the problem?
The problem is bad. What I'm finding is that, say, 10 years ago, I was spending most of my time pushing back on misinformation and disinformation about climate change.
The water that once collected in these areas was forced to relocate, pushing its way downstream at a faster rate than ever before. The force of the rushing water rapidly eroded the banks of Snake Creek.
This house served as a space for the Whiting family to gather, dine, entertain, and play. Helen wrote,
When Mac was the international head for Dow, we entertained all kinds of people at our house for dinner.
Before you garden, there's a lot of things you want to consider before you just, jump in. It doesn't necessarily have to be a long, drawn-out thought process.
The more I read, I saw that everything in this book is just real. Like someone wrote it just for me.
A bipartisan transparency legislative package was passed by the House Elections Committee and then referred to the House Committee on Ways and Means, where it sits waiting for a hearing.
And My Pantry is a grassroots community pantry that helps neighbors feed neighbors during the hard times.
Great to be with all of you here today, and if there's a wind that sweeps up, my skirt goes over my head, I have volleyball shorts underneath, so I just want you all to be okay with that. It's going to be okay.
Other companies the opportunity to advertise whatever they're trying to advertise. So yeah, I do think it's going to be like a serious thing in the future, just not even for millennials, I think just for the adult world too,
We're clearly soldiers in petticoats, dauntless crusaders for women's votes. Though we adore men individually, we agree that as a group they're rather stupid.
We as parents in this politically charged environment might not always be setting the right example for our kids. It's a real tough time for us. And so we want to talk about how we can do a better job of that.
We know that this impacts our voice in Washington, D.C., and this impacts our voice in Lansing as well. But the big impact of the census is its financial impact on our local communities.
So the cholesterol that we make inside is good. Our bodies know how to absorb it and get rid of it.
Most states have very few. If they have one, they have one or two maybe. Michigan is the largest state for unaccompanied refugee minor resettlement.
There's also a substantial focus on public health, both looking at prevention and public health workforce, and more of a focus on population health, looking at the health of our whole community.
There was not one emergency room in the state of Michigan that had a procedure for what happens when someone comes in with an overdose. We get them stable and we send them right back out onto the street again.
I'm here because I support students. I respect educators. I want to fund our schools. I think all of us should have that same premise.
Our local Muslim community had decided that what they wanted more than anything was to come together in love and solidarity with our greater Midland community.
Telling me, about this kid, and I'm trying to get him to identify them to me. I'm like, is that the white kid? Is that the black kid? And he's like, Dad, what are you talking about? So at that point, I just shut the hell up because I knew in 3 years, the world was going to teach him what those colors meant.
And when someone steps up and tells their truth about what's coming out of their faucet or what's happening to their child, that expert would come and say, I'm sorry, but do you have a PhD?
Congratulations, class of 2019 graduates.
There's not a whole lot of hand fighting there.
Good head pressure.
There you go, was able to catch him. Batha's got him caught, put his shoulders on the mat, that could be it.
Carpenter has the basketball, feeding it now to Kritz. Kritz will go over to Dawson, baseline shot, count it. Jay Dawson, the freshman, with the bucket.
We have a little misdirection here. And then up into the chute, and when we get up in the chute, watch the number of missed tackles and Jude playing the way it is. There's the little reverse twist. That's an old single wing play, by the way.
Yeah. You can debate that for a while. Will the Chargers keep this one alive?
Summers.
What a job by Jenna Summers.
That brings this joint to life as if it needed to be to life. An absolutely fantastic homecoming day crowd.
Did you see Christian catch me if you can?
Yes, I
He
did.
didn't even need to turn on the second jet, did
Nope.
he?
1-2 fastball is bounced to the second baseman. Fermin comes home, and the throw is up the line. Quadrado scores.
The Chemics are on the board.
Well, you watch this, all four defenders are just staring at the puck, looking over where it is, and Squires, just who was on the boards, just sneaks in out of nowhere. There he is, a little spinorama, puck in the back of the net.
Why does Dow Gardens exist in Midland today? So Dow Gardens exists because Herbert Dow, the founder of the Dow Chemical Company, was interested in agriculture and horticulture.
I nominated Corey because I can't think of a more deserving person.
As a law enforcement officer, your fundamental duty is to serve the community. The oath of office is of great significance.
10,000 years, bright shining as the sun.
It's really hard to determine what John specifically does well because he's involved in many different areas in the fire department.
I've been with the City of Midland for just over 5 years now, and it's been a pleasure working with such amazing people and being able to serve such a supportive community.
And we welcomed Miriam Andrus, who replaced her. So Miriam, let's give Miriam a good Midland welcome. Hey.
It's summer at the Grace A. Dow Memorial Library, and that means it's time for summer reading. This year's theme is a universe of stories.
I bring greetings to all of you from Washington City, from your two senators, Zachariah Chandler and Jacob Howard.
We are proud to be a part of your community, and we are here to stay. Thank you. Enjoy your downtown.
So again, the 2016 study looked from Washington Street down Patrick and Lyons to Indian and Buttles,
all the way up Eastman Road to Airport Road.
One proposed solution that was met with positive feedback included a lane reduction on Buttles and Indian Streets from Washington Street to Hines Street. However, we're not the only community in Michigan that's re-examining the way we use our roadways.
If you cannot escape your room, shut off the air to your room, stuff wet towels in the crack around the door, call the fire department and let them know you cannot escape, and wait at the window and signal firefighters with a flashlight or clothes.
Hey Midland, Kevin and Selena here, back with another What's Up in the City City Council edition. Now our most recent City Council meeting clocked in at roughly 3.5 hours.
It was a long one.
And I'm here with Rob, and we are following Ben. We are going to come out here and plow some roads today.
If everything could ever be this good again.
Let's see, we are one. We are water. Water is life.
But I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you.
And thank you, Matt Richardson, for putting together that highlights video. Again this year, we will recognize and honor our Access Users of the Month for the prior year. During most months of the year, the MCTV staff selects an Access User of the Month based on his or her contributions to MCTV as a producer, as crew, as a committee member, and as a member of the MCTV family. Each chosen access user is recognized by putting that person's name on the MCTV message board, by publishing an article with the MCTV listings in the Midland Daily News, and by posting the article on the bulletin board in the MCTV office. For this evening's event, Matt Thomas has prepared a video of the prior year's Access Users of the Month. For those access users in attendance this evening, when you see your name mentioned, please come up and stand with me by the podium.
Our Access User of the Month for December was John McPeak. John is a longtime Access user and friend of MCTV. He is the regular host of Community Focus, a show designed to highlight local nonprofit groups, and our host for tonight's ceremonies. John also volunteers on our sports and music productions. Thank you, John, for all that you do. Judy Keel was our Access User of the Month in January. Judy is also a longtime Access user and friend of MCTV. She often fills in as host of Community Focus and works diligently on the pre-production side of the program. Judy has also volunteered on other productions in the studio. Thank you, Judy, for being a friend and wonderful asset to the MCTV network. In February, our Access User of the Month was Ron Beacom. Ron was the manager of MCTV from 1989 to 2016, and it didn't take long for him to return as an Access user. He produces programs such as Spirit of Rotary, the Rotary Pancake Supper, and the Midland County Sports Hall of Fame. When he is not behind the camera, he is in front of it for QTV as host of Second Act, Life After 50, or host of Backyard Reactors, a show he created at MCTV. Ron is a familiar face around MCTV, and we always enjoy when he stops in. Our Access User of the Month for March was Elizabeth Thomas. Elizabeth went through training in December of 2018 after seeing our ad on Facebook. She began to shoot and edit single camera programs such as Go Red Talks by the American Heart Association and Midland Area Housing Study by the League of Women Voters. She also volunteers on programs like Economics in Action and Northwood Replay. Thank you, Elizabeth, for all that you do. Drew Edwards was our Access User of the Month in April. Drew was one of our summer video campers in 2015 and refreshed his training this year to shoot and edit the Fife and Drum Freezer Jam. Drew used multiple camera angles on this program and edited a unique show for the viewers of MCTV. We look forward to seeing what Drew does next. In June, our Access User of the Month was Linda Seamson. Linda went through our training this March and has been a very familiar face around MCTV. She has shot and edited programs for the Women of Michigan Action Network, the Sarah Schultz Campaign, and the League of Women Voters. She is also an active volunteer for our trailer productions like football games and Midland Concert Band. Thank you, Linda, and keep up the good work. Our Access User of the Month for July was Suzanne Sunshower. Suzanne went through our training in January of this year looking for a hobby. She is an active poet and started creating a program called Late Winter Walk Around the Pond, where she uses her poetry and wonderful shots of nature to captivate our viewers. She has also volunteered at Midland Concert Band performances. Thank you, Suzanne. Andrew Reeder was our Access User of the Month for August. Andrew was a summer camper this year and started creating his own programs. He now produces and hosts a series called The Andrew Reeder Show. He has recorded episodes in our studio, talk show style, and in the field interviewing a state representative in Lansing. His show is a great addition to the community media lineup. Thank you, Andrew, for all your efforts. In October, Stephanie Bayasi was our Access User of the Month. Stephanie has been an Access user since 2010, producing programs like the Saginaw Rising documentary, The Accident, A to Zig, A Slippery Slope, live town hall forums, and most recently, a series of programs called Union Made. She, alongside her husband Ziggy, continuously create new and thought-provoking programming for the Midland community. Thank you, Stephanie, for your continued support of MCTV.
Congratulations to all of the past year's Access Users of the Month. Each will receive an MCTV shirt as recognition for his or her efforts, as well as an individual award, which is a little bit small, but you'll get a close-up of it later, both of which Mary Jo will have this evening or later in the MCTV office. Some of these Access Users of the Month have indicated they want to take this opportunity to say a few words. So, Stephanie, would you leave off?
Good evening. I wanted to thank my husband, as was indicated. He and I have been working on the productions together, so I'm so grateful that he's got a lot of ideas, and we have a whole lot more productions that we're hoping to make, and look forward to people enjoying those. And also wanted to give a big thank you to MCTV staff. I try my best to put a thank you at the end of my programs and include staff. Sometimes I forget, so I wanted to take this opportunity to specifically thank Matt Richardson and Matt Thomas, and also Ron Beacom and Billy Bethune, who was here before, and Kevin Leduc, which I miss very much now. And so just wanted to, and of course Mary Jo and Sherry for all their assistance and help. I think I included everybody. But just again, wonderful staff, as you guys all know. Thank you so much, I appreciate that.
Suzanne Sunshower.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you very much to the staff for helping me, introducing me to this new medium, Great new way to express myself. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm going to stumble through and do some more.
Andrew Reeder.
Well, this may sound cliche, but thank you to the staff from me. And thank you to the City of Midland for providing us with this service. And thank you to all volunteers of the Andrew Reeder Show who have ever helped me, and the Reeder family and the Damaris family for their immense support as well. As you may or may not know, the Andrew Reeder Show volunteers largely are high school students. And so I am grateful for their help, and I'm grateful that I have this chance to help them to advance in their learning for their future careers.
Man who needs no introduction, so I won't. Ron. I'm sorry. Before Ron comes up here and ruins everything, Linda Simpson.
The first shoot I went on went badly, and I had second and third thoughts about bringing it into the office that day. But I brought it in, and they put it on, and Matt Richardson saw it, and I don't truly know what he thought, but he faked it really well, okay? So, and I, too, would like to thank the whole staff, Matt Richardson, Matt Thomas, Kevin LeDuc, Sherry Tausk, and Mary Jo Kellogg. They've all been wonderful, and they make it some of the best parts of my day. Thank you.
First, John McPeak bought my lunch yesterday, so I got to say something nice. Looking good, John. Second, I want to compliment Carol Rumba, the director here at Creative 360. I noticed in the highlight reel that Mr. Richardson put together that a lot of the events that were captured in that highlight reel were captured here at this facility, so it's a testament to you and your organization. This is a great operation. Who else did I want to thank? Oh, Matt Thomas, thanks for the plug for my show I do now at QTV at Delta College, a premiere show this Sunday night, 7 o'clock. The wife of the chair of the advisory commission will be featured in there. Second Act, Life at 50 Plus, also available online at deltabroadcasting.org/second act. And main thing I want to say, it's nice to see some new faces here tonight, and I won't say old, it's nice to see some familiar faces. MCTV started in 1984, I came in 1989, so we inherited the name Midland Community Television, but the word that has always stuck out the most to me in that is community. And you guys all represent that you share what happens in our community so the rest of the community can see it, and you can feel real good about that, because that's what we need, that we're a community, that we stick together and help each other out. So again, thank you.
You can use the word old, Ron, because Wilson Coomer is here tonight. So, again, congratulations to the Access Users of the Month. In April, the Friends of MCTV sponsored the 10th annual Midland's Shining Stars Talent Show. The young man who received the most votes was Jacob Lasko, a 17-year-old junior at H.H. Dow High School. Jacob was born with a heart defect which required numerous surgeries. He has encountered many obstacles, and music has helped him overcome those obstacles. Jacob taught himself to play the violin when he was 4, then the guitar when he was 5, and since then he has mastered the mandolin, drums, and piano. He enjoys playing his guitar at local assisted living facilities as well as at the Sanford Moose on most Friday evenings. Now performing Garth Brooks' song, The River, please welcome Jacob Lasko.
You know a dream is like a river, ever changing as it flows. And the dream is just a vessel that must follow where it goes, trying to learn from what's behind you, and never knowing what's in store. Makes each day a constant battle just to stay between the shore. And I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry, like a bird upon the wind. And these waters are my sky. I'll never reach my destination if I never try. So I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Too many times we stand beside, let the water slip away. What we put off till tomorrow has now become today. So don't you sit up on the shoreline and say you're satisfied. Choose to chance the rapids and dare to dance the tide. And if I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry, like a bird upon the wind, these waters are my sky. I'll never reach my destination if I never try. So I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. There's bound to be rougher waters, and I know I'll take some falls. When the good Lord is my captain, I can make it through them all. I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry, like a bird upon the wind. These waters are my sky. I'll never reach my destination if I never try. So I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. The river runs dry.
Thank you, Jacob, for that performance. And congratulations on your top-rated performance on Midland's Shining Stars Talent Show earlier this year. In 2020, the 11th annual Midland's Shining Stars Talent Show will be held on Saturday, April 25th. Mark your calendars and be there in front of the cameras or behind the cameras. For the past 28 years, MCTV has presented a community award to a deserving individual. Presenting the Edith Doyle Community Award this evening is Matt Richardson, the manager of MCTV. Matt began his career in public access television in 2004 with the Community Access Center in Kalamazoo. Then he joined MCTV in 2008 as a production director, and he has been the manager of MCTV since the beginning of 2017. Matt and his wife Stephanie are proud parents of their 5-year-old son. Please welcome MCTV's manager, Matt Richardson.
First off, good evening, everyone. It was a little treacherous out there, but it wasn't quite like last year. Anybody remember? 8 inches by the time we left here. So, I just want to thank everyone for coming here. I'm probably going to do that about 6 more times tonight, so get used to it. But before we get started with the Edith Doyle Award, I just wanted to say a few things about what's going on at MCTV. We have had some people leave recently. Sherry Tosk, after 7 years as our office assistant, she went to finance with the city. So we miss her. She did a great job for us. Production assistant Kevin LeDuc did leave a couple weeks ago. He accepted the position of communications officer with the Midland Area Community Foundation. And over here, Mary Jo Kellogg is a new face that you're going to see around MCTV. Everybody say, hello, Mary Jo. Hello, Mary Jo. I knew you could. Okay. So there's been some organizational changes with the City of Midland and MCTV as well. MCTV is no longer part of the library. Even though we're housed there, we're actually now in the communications department. And our new boss, Selena Tisdale, the Community Affairs Director, has been wonderful in helping us transition to our new role with the city. I also wanted to say a special thank you. Every of the awardees tonight have a little tribute or a specially written note from State Representative Annette Glenn. They're going to be receiving one, and the 2 major award winners did receive something that is signed by Annette as well as Governor Whitmer, which is a very cool honor, and we appreciate the recognition to our volunteers. So don't forget to pick that up, everybody who came up here tonight. So without further ado, let's talk about the Edith Doyle Community Award. So the Edith Doyle Community Award is presented to an access user that has gone above and beyond in their service to MCTV and to the cause of community media in Midland. This year's recipient is known for tackling tough social issues in order to bring about positive change. His work exemplifies the belief that MCTV is a powerful tool to tell stories, inform citizens, and build a stronger community in which we live. Ziggy Kozicki had his first, sure, why not? Yeah. Ziggy Kozicki had his first experience creating a video in 1974, although it was probably film at that time, right? Yeah, it was film. While a student at Central Michigan University. 4 college degrees and many life experiences later, Dr. Ziggy Kozicki began his association with MCTV in 2011. He and his wife, Stephanie Biasi, have created a number of notable programs and documentaries. They have shown their videos at film festivals in Washington, D.C., Denver, Colorado, Atlanta, Georgia, Calcutta, India, and various college campuses in Michigan. Their body of work includes, this is a marathon, everybody, The Accident, which is a 12-part series about motor vehicle accident survivors in 2011. In 2012, they created the documentary film Saginaw Rising. This film was about violence in Saginaw and is enshrined in the U.S. Library of Congress and is live streaming around the world. It's very cool recognition. Other documentaries that they produced: Defending Childhood, Human Development, What's the Future of Public Education, Japanese Tea House, Chinese Year of the Horse, Moms Demand Action, Wanna Marijuana, Chinese New Year 2016, Healthcare in America, Healthcare Forum, Midland Political Town Hall 2018, Opiate Epidemic, Judge Me Not 2019, Civil Rights and Racism 2019. And there's probably a lot more to that list, sure. Recently, they finished the 7-part video series Union Made 2019 with titles as All Boats Rise, Level Playing Field, Don't Go Out of Business, The Union Difference, The Next Generation, Out Here for the Middle Class, and What Have Labor Unions Accomplished? Ziggy and Stephanie continue producing the series A to Zig, A Slippery Slope. This program covers topics such as gerrymandering and the global economy, marijuana and money, violence and victims, opiates and opportunity, water wars, immigration and inclusion, and the millennial moment. All lighthearted fare, I'm sure. When he is not working on video productions with Stephanie, he is an associate professor at the University of Detroit Mercy, my alma mater, and is a psychologist with a practice in Saginaw, Michigan. Ziggy has an interest in social justice and population health. The work he and Stephanie develop engages the viewer to look deeper into the world and the world around them and to consider becoming involved in their community. Now, let's take a short look at some of what Ziggy has produced over the past few years.
Welcome to the Slippery Slope. I'm Dr. Ziggy Kozicki, and today we are going to talk about opiates and opportunity. I'm just curious, what do you think the millennial moment is that you're living in right now?
It's a lot of people injuring their necks and spines to look at their cell phones, myself included.
Okay. I look at the cell phone too, but maybe not as much as you.
This is, I think, the moral issue of our time. I mean, this isn't just about corruption at the highest levels of government, although that exists. This is now when it's really personally hurting small, helpless children. I'm a grandmother, and I just find, I can't even sleep at night, you know, thinking about what's going on.
The CEO of Nestle's has said that water is not a human right. It should be privatized. He said this in 2013, by the way, which was 3 years after the United Nations declared it was a human right. So what is Nestle's doing in Michigan? It's pumping millions of gallons out of our state. S is for?
Secure all guns in your home and vehicles.
M is for?
Responsible behavior around guns.
A is for?
About the presence of guns in other homes and if they are secured.
R is for?
Recognize the risk factors for teen suicide.
T is for?
Tell your friends, adult children, relatives, and neighbors to be smart.
Yeah, so we're out here for the middle class. You know, we're out here for not just ourselves, but all the people that work at Walmart's, Kroger's, Meijer's, all the suppliers that supply these parts and are working for $12, $15 an hour.
Children are looking to their older brothers and looking to their other people in the community, their parents and so on, to see the way that they behave, and then it's unconsciously modeled.
So what the trade unions did in one respect was they capitalized on that, but what they didn't do was make their membership look like the citizens. And so you have this massive investment, billions of dollars going into sports stadiums, and of that work product, 80% of that, they're white.
We're looking at a brain. We look at all these major pathways. Here's a picture of the left cerebral hemisphere. And it's an intricate system, a communication system that carries much information back and forth through the different areas of the brain. And remember, when you and I work together for the good of our community, we all benefit.
So, as you can see, Ziggy has produced an incredible amount of content, and I got to be honest, trying to put all of your content in the 3 minutes was not easy. But it's been a wonderful asset to the community media universe here in Midland. So you can really feel his passion for helping others. And before I invite Ziggy up, we have a few people who would like to say congratulations to you at this time.
Hey Zig, congratulations. Wish I could be there to celebrate with you, but I'm sure I'll see you soon. Another award, you can add it to the shelf. You are really inspiring for me, and I want you to know I love you and keep doing your thing.
Hey Ziggy, congratulations. I know you've put in a lot of hard work, and it's good to see it get acknowledged. I wish I could be there, but good job and congratulations again.
Well, congratulations, Ziggy, on your award. I'm so proud of you. You really deserve this. Here I am in MCTV Studios, where so much of the magic happens. And as you know, I so appreciate being able to make this magic with you. You are the brains, and you can see that the heart that you have for people and your caring about them and quality of life comes through in so many ways. Thank you for helping people know how important their lives are, and thank you for letting me be a part of the magic that you make. Congratulations again.
Please join me in congratulating Ziggy Kozicki, recipient of the 2019 Edith Doyle Community Award. Please say a few words.
Matt's a Titan from the University of Detroit, and I didn't know that when we first met, but I want to thank him for leading the program that Ron started here and taking it to another level. And as I see new people coming in and doing things, I'm inspired by the fact that we can do this, we can share this information. And I want to thank Matt back there. He's been very helpful. And Tom Knab, who's back there, he used to work with TV5. He's an old veteran. He encouraged me to do some of these things. We would have conversations, and he said, you ought to put this together, and you ought to share it with other people. I do want to say one thing. You can have impact with these things. I think you mentioned, for instance, the movie Saginaw Rising. It's housed in New Zealand, and it gets streamed all over the world. And it's kind of interesting because people are watching it and learning something. But when we made the project, we did about 50 hours of filming in Saginaw, Michigan. We had so much filming we didn't know what to do with. But in the process of being in that community for months, we got recognized for caring, and we got involved. Stephanie organized the community to have this big gathering at Saginaw Valley State University. Over 100 leaders from the community and came to this meeting to talk about what to do about violence. At the time, Saginaw was the #1 city for violence in the country for a city of its size. There were shootings every day. And we had these round-robin meetings, and we showed segments of the movie, and we got the community to look at itself. Because prior to that, people were saying, well, you can't do anything about it. It's SAG nasty. You know, people are just going to continue to do this. And we said, no, you can't. You've got to do something. The interesting thing is, right after we did this, the violence started to decrease until eventually they were no longer the #1 violent city in America. And the violence dropped by about 60%. There were less shootings. We got the governor involved. We got the Michigan State Police involved. We got the community involved. And part of it was the video, because they could see themselves in the video. They could hear their children talking about the murders. And you had these young girls talking about, well, I hope that I'll get out of Saginaw, maybe go to college if I don't get killed. And, you know, it was sounding like Lebanon or someplace, you know, else, not America. And so that's the power of the video and the projects that we're doing. And I think that even today, you know, many of the videos that we've shown are in public libraries, at university campuses. They're being used at the University of Detroit, for instance, with medical students there. So, you know, think big. Share your ideas with as many people as you can. When I started on this, Stephanie got involved in MCTV before me, and she said, come on, why don't you go through the training with me? We can do some things together. And I said, well, okay, we'll do some things together. Never thinking that I would be standing up here now, never intended to get an award or anything. You know, we just kind of just kept going along, and Matt and others, Ron, kept encouraging us, kept saying, keep working at it. And they didn't disturb our creativity. If anything, they helped wherever they could. And I think that's just remarkable that in a community this size, we have this going on. I mean, it's really, and we should continue to support it. And I think if you go out there in the community, say good things about this and don't lose it, because many communities across the state don't have this anymore. When the cable networks first came in, I was a city commissioner in Bay City, and they set up shops like this all over the state. That was part of the reason they got cable contracts and licenses. Well, since then, most of those places are gone. Midland has hung on to, and there's a few other cities in Michigan that have hung on to this. We need to keep supporting this. This is a very important medium, and if you lose it, you're not going to get it back. And if anything, we should try to find other people who are creative and inspired to send a message, get them in the studio, get them trained, let them start producing their messages and sharing it with the community. And you may not think that this thing goes out there, but it does. You know, and as Matt had said, we never intended to show, for instance, our movie in India, but we did. And Stephanie and I were sitting there watching people from around the world watching our video, and we looked at each other and we said, how did this happen? You know, where did this? And people wanted copies of our video, and I had people writing to me afterwards saying, I've shown the video, and it was just so. Please, you know, support MCTV. That's really what I want to say is, you know, and do it because it can change things. You can change things in your community or in communities nearby, and I hope that whoever is the next recipient has a good story to tell about what the award means to me. This means a lot to me because it's one of those awards that comes from the heart. I know it comes, I was shocked when Matt came up to me and said something. He said, "Can I talk to you?" And I said, "Oh man, I'm in trouble again. What did I do? I screw up? I mean, did I not turn off a computer? I mean, what did Stephanie and I do this time?" And he said, "No, I want to talk to you about something." And he talked about this. And I'll tell you, he could have blown me over. I was not expecting it. But I do appreciate it very much. And as one of my sons says, I can put this up with other awards. No, I'm going to put this up someplace special where I can look at it every day. Thank you.
Well, thank you for everything that you do, Ziggy. I think he spoke very well. So, and again, thank you all for coming out tonight. There's a ton of people that we as MCTV staff would like to thank. Carol and Creative 360. I have to thank Matt, because after we lost a staff person, he has really filled in all those roles and gaps. And of course, Mary Jo has been doing a great job. She kept me sane getting through to this point right here, which has been quite a challenge over the last week. John McPeak and of course Ron Feltsky. And I have to say, I'm going to say this every year, I'm one of those people that is blessed to be able to do what I'm doing right now, because you people give me an opportunity to do something I love for a purpose that is fantastic, you know? So before I get all gushy, I just want to say thank you. I mean, it really is what drives me every day, is to see people like you using the tools that we have to communicate with everyone else. So thank you very much. And now I'm going to hand it over to John McPeak.
This is a token of appreciation from the users at MCTV to MCTV staff, and thank you for all you do.
Oh, thank you very much. This is Councilman Pam Hall, and she's also the producer of Earth News. So thank you very much. This means a lot to us. Thank you.
Well, congratulations again to Ziggy Kozicki as the recipient of the Edith Doyle Community Award. The other major annual MCTV award is the Rosemary Byers Community Voice Award, giving to a deserving organization that utilizes MCTV to promote their program and events. Here to present that award this evening is the chair of the Cable Access Advisory Commission, Ron Feltsky. Ron has been a member of the Cable Access Advisory Commission for the past 6 years and is very interested in the role of MCTV and how it showcases the events that occur within our community. He's an active member of Trinity Lutheran Church, where he has served on various boards, and he is currently a member of the chancel choir there. Ron has also served on the board of the Midland Dolphins Barracuda Swim Club. He's a graduate of Michigan State University, sorry Ron, and is currently an accounting manager for Olin Corporation. Ron and his family have lived in Midland for the past 24 years, and they enjoy varied activities and events within the community, many of which are captured on video through MCTV. Please welcome Ron Feltsky.
Thank you, John. The recipient of the 2019 Rosemary Byers Community Voice Award is the First United Methodist Church. The First United Methodist Church was founded in 1857, is located at 315 West Larkin Street in Midland, across the street from the courthouse and the Santa House. First United Methodist provides 2 services each Sunday and is involved in many community outreach projects, such as the Sunday Friendship lunches for the homeless, mission maintenance teams assisting low-income residents in Saginaw and Midland with various projects such as building ramps, replacing windows and doors, cleaning parks in Saginaw and Midland, mission programs for teens, and the National International Adult Mission Team, which recently traveled to Mexico. First United Methodist Church began recording services in 1993 and The next year, MCTV started broadcasting the Sunday services. Over the next 25 years, it has provided over 1,300 church services to the Midland community via MCTV. MCTV is proud to have the opportunity to partner with First United Methodist Church in that process. Now, 15 people have volunteered on the audio-video team over the years to provide recording services to the congregation in the greater Midland MCTV viewing area. The team has averaged around 30 hours of volunteer time per week on the broadcasts, which translate into, as an accountant, I like numbers, translate into 39,000 hours over 25 years. Recently, First United Methodist has upgraded their video production system to record the services and special events like weddings, guest speakers, and concerts. This year, it has also started broadcasting the contemporary services on the MCTV Network, which is increasing its audience and outreach to the community. Now, let's take a look at what the First United Methodist Church presents every week.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to worship.
In a world that believes that God helps those who help themselves, it's radical thinking to realize that God truly helps those who rely totally on Him.
Amen. Many of you know that our youth went to North Carolina last year for their spring break mission trip. Well, now we have a group of adults that will be going to that same area in Wilmington, North Carolina in March of 2020. So pray about it. Maybe God is calling you to head to that area and serve as a mission trip team.
We are all pilgrims on a journey of faith. Come along with us as we take a walk with God. The footprints you see on the floor, the shoes in the aisles, all represent each one of us as we seek God and grow in our faith.
By walking with God, we draw closer to God with our conversations and fellowship with God, allowing us to believe and trust, even when we cannot see.
And as I told my dad this, I said this to God. I said, I don't want you to be around for just a day. Leave me alone. I don't want to believe in you. And my dad simply looked at me and he said, that's okay. You may have a moment when you don't believe in God, but your God will never stop believing in you.
Well, I'm very happy to present the 2019 Rosemary Byers Community Voice Award to the First United Methodist Church. Unfortunately, the senior pastor, Anita Hahn, is not able to attend this evening, but has some pre-recorded comments.
Thank you so much for inviting us here this evening and for this recognition that you have given to Midland First United Methodist Church. As we seek to be a place that is helping people to know, to love, and to share Christ, connecting with our community through MCTV has just been one way that we have been able to continue to share and to engage our community and to engage God's Word in being real with each other. And tonight, as we accept this award, I give tons of praise and thanks to Dennis Caney and to Tom Randolph, who have been on the forefront of helping us at Midland First United Methodist to engage our technology both up in the sanctuary when worship is happening and all the details of worship and sound, as well as down in our little space of the video tech room and making sure that everything's coming in and put together well so that we can share our worship service through MCTV. I thank also those folks who work diligently with Tom and Dennis with background stuff and preparing all of the PowerPoints and those technical pieces for worship so that you get the best presence in your home that we can share. As we accept this award tonight, it continues to excite me about what we can do when somebody has a vision, when somebody has a dream, and then a community, be it a community of faith or a community as Midland community comes together, to dream and to think about what it means to be a place where persons can dream, they can plan, they can prosper, they can join together to be a great place to be together. Thank you so much for the honor of this award.
Well, thank you, Senior Pastor Anita Hahn, for your comments. And once again, I'd like to recognize First United Methodist Church for being the recipient of the 2019 Rosemary Byers Community Voice Award. And here personally to receive the award, we have Associate Pastor Jung Uyum, who's here to personally accept this award and say a few words. So.
I think our senior pastor Anita Han, she said much, and I feel her heart as she came to know about this award. I really thank you MCTV, because whenever I visit my church members who are homebound, who are in nursing homes, they really watch this TV to join our Sunday worship service. And also I remember one time when I visited the city hall, there was a lady sitting behind the desk, and she said, "I know you, you're on TV." So I realized I have to behave very well in this community. Thank you so much for doing this kind of a special service for the community and also for Midland First. Thank you so much.
At this point, I'd like to turn it back over to John.
Thank you, Ron. Congratulations to First United Methodist Church. It's time to conclude the 29th Annual MCTV Honors Night. Congratulations again to those folks who received awards for their many hours of volunteering at MCTV. To the Access Users of the Month, to Ziggy Kozicki for receiving the Edith Doyle Community Award, to the First United Methodist Church for receiving the Rosemary Byers Community Voice Award, and to all of the Access users, the volunteers who keep community in community media. Thanks to Rodnick Chiropractic and Junia Doan, hostess of The Spark, for sponsoring this event. Thank you to Cindy Michelin and Mary Adams, members of the Midland Community Orchestra, for the pre-show music, and to Jacob Blasco for his musical performance. Thanks also to Creative 360 for hosting this year's event, and to the Friends of MCTV for presenting the 29th Annual MCTV Honors Night. If you are interested in becoming an MCTV volunteer and sharing in all this fun, you can call the studio at 837-3474 to sign up for the Media Producer Workshop, or come visit us at our studios in the lower level of the Grace A. Dow Memorial Library. MCTV would love to see you in the studio in front of the camera or behind the cameras and at next year's Honors Night. Take care and be well.